So imagine a guy walks into a therapist's office with a drink problem. Therapist suggests maybe he keeps a diary of all the drink he consumes. He asks him to note down the alcohol content. He also offers him a safe drinking plan that he can follow. Finally, he suggests that maybe he wants to buy some low-alcohol beer direct from the therapist with his own brand actually on the can. So you don't have to work very much in talk therapy for decades to know that sounds kind of odd. But that's kind of what we do with weight problems. My name is Mike Dawson. I'm the author of Quit Your Diet, Think to Shrink. And if you're done with calorie counters, meal plans and food diaries, then you might be in the right place because I'm here to help you create a 14-day plan to quitting diets forever. I worked for decades in the people business. I worked with all kinds of change in people with serious, challenging issues. And I've used a powerful cocktail of methods from clinical hypnotherapy, solution-focused brief therapy, NLP. And although I'm skilled in all of those methods, I found strength and success in never following a dogma of any single principle. It was always the client first, which meant I had to adapt to their way of thinking rather than them adapt to mine. And in the practice of family therapy, myself and my colleagues recorded successes in the upper 90% of our clients, reported by the clients themselves. Now, there's a reason all this matters, because after many years of success, based on my own set of principles and assumptions, I was seconded into a project that I believed would require a very similar approach. And the project was a revolutionary pilot project for the National Health Service. And if you've read my book, you'll know about this, but briefly, it was this. We're going to take 12 clinically obese individuals and give them every form of professional intervention all at once in 12 weeks. So in the team, we had a professional dietitian to help with meal plans. We had a medical professional who would do blood work and monitor health markers. We also had a pro gym instructor who'd be providing and leading exercise regimes. And then there was me. So I was employed to be the behaviorist, the motivator, as they all saw it. And as it happened, this wasn't the case, certainly not in my eyes. You see, I knew before I started that weight was a problem that required change. And change was my thing. I've been doing change with people for years. So it was only when I started to pull together my part of this 12-week program that I saw the conflict. And this is where it gets interesting. Understandably, the rest of the team were putting together the usual diet dogma things, food diaries, meal plans, exercise regimes. The problem was the problem for me. What I mean by this is illustrated in the story I told at the beginning of the video. Everything we were doing was the polar opposite of what I had done for years with insurmountable issues. The diet industry requires willpower, determination, whereas I would usually be looking for the motivation and why with the client. The diet industry asks clients to look at the problem on a daily basis to the point of obsession, whereas I would be looking away from the problem with my clients. We'd be building a picture of life without the problem, a kind of future you, if you like. So if I treated my clients outside the weight industry dogma the same way as the industry, I doubt I'd have been very successful. So here's an example I like to talk about a lot. Drug use. Maybe you would ask a client to monitor the drugs, change less harmful substances, or even sell them some weaker, safer drugs. But that's not where the success is. The success is in building bolts. That's what I said, building bolts. I cite this example because this project is awesome and it's still going now. It's been going for years and it's a great example and it has got nothing at all to do with me. There's a project up in Scotland that had users enroll on bulk building courses. Users report the sense of purpose and pride in the work that they do. I see in it no signs of focusing on the problem of drugs in any way. There may well be background traditional support, but this project has been around for years. And here's my take on it. Isn't the bulk building exactly a form of what we all do? The non-drug users, like you and me, safe for the legal ones, of course. But we don't build boats, I hear you say, but just stop for a moment. Maybe it's not boats, but it's certainly a sense of purpose, just like the drug users. It could be sport, could be your family, your grandkids, could be your job, could be your hobby. And I'm suggesting that when we look away from the problem, we start to see success. And our minds don't care whether that's building boats, helping others, caring for the family. Our mind doesn't care. We just look away from the problem. So from this perspective, let's look at the people we all know who do not diet. Now, they are not all, super slim, but they are diet free. And they are not that way because they are really good at dieting. They are that way for the exact opposite reason. So while we are obsessing over calories and meal plans, they're checking the football results, playing with the grandkids. And it's those things that are their boat building. And they also provide that why when it comes to committing. So my overall message in this video is that we should be changing our mindset. But here's the thing. I'm not talking about our attitude to food, positive relationships with food, and all of that kind of thing, which is all good. I'm talking about how we transform our obsession into something new, something else, maybe something even more important to us. So if you're struggling to manage weight, there is a way out there which could turn all that effort and failure on its head. There's a future you that doesn't diet, doesn't need to. Our job is to find that person. If you saw the videos about the change pyramid, you'll relate to this idea because changing your why and working for the future is much higher up the pyramid than a diet, than one that doesn't work. And if you want to find out about the pyramid, you can click around here somewhere and do a very quick 12-question quiz. So this brings me on to the super slimmers of the year, whether that be Slimmers Club or Weight World or whatever. Grab yourself a Sunday magazine, read the stories, and here's what you're going to see. There's no correlation between diet regimes. They all have super slimmers, but in the main, the regime fails most of the people it serves. The super slimmers will reveal their pivotal moment, which is often really highly charged, the seatbelt extension on a plane, the traumatized or bullied kids getting stuck on a fairground ride. They may have dieted for years before the moment. They may have struggled with weight all their lives until that moment, and then boom, super slimmer of the year. They have discovered their future self, and the rest is easier because of the internal message. They have taken an express lift to the top of that pyramid. None of it was willpower, it was change in identity. They went from dieting, which is probably level 3 on the pyramid, to a level 5 or 6 in an instant. So without realizing it, I think super slimmers use the very same techniques that we use to successfully instigate deep change. And it's worth saying at this point, 100% credit to all of those people who achieve those amazing things with their weight loss. However, my book and course is called Quit Your Diet Think to Shrink, and there's enough in my free membership area to do this. I can't create those pivotal moments. If I could, and I could put it in a pill, I would be a billionaire. But creative and skilled talk therapists are doing the next best thing, but it's not happening in the weight loss industry. Let's think about and work with our weight loss issue in the same way as other change. Here's the takeaway. Okay, none of the tactics used in weight loss regimes resonate with real change, and they should. Instead of looking at the problem, we might do better to look at the solution. Who's got the solution? Well, those people not on diets, obviously. Well, this concept is simply, this whole idea is simply a snapshot of my book and course, but it's possible that this message makes sense to you. And if it does, then I think there's enough on this channel and my website for you to join us on this journey absolutely free. So think about signing up right now as a legacy member on my website, actionfactorypublishing.com, because if you do, now you will never ever pay for that membership. And if you think these ideas maybe resonate, then subscribe for more. I'm here every couple of days. Thank you in advance for giving me a light tap on the thumbs up button down below. Check out the other videos for an explanation of the change pyramid and take the 12-question quiz around here somewhere to work on your level on the quiz and on the pyramid. You'll find it really interesting and you'll see there's a connection between change of all kinds. That's it from me for today. I'll be back in a few days with more thoughts and ideas. I'm Michael Dawson, the author of Quit Your Diet, Think to Shrink. Thank you for being there. See you soon.